Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. Let's just jump right into it. Today we are tackling one of the most frustrating and honestly kind of confusing financial phenomena out there. We're talking about the paradox of making more money. You score that big promotion, you see a way higher number on your paycheck, and yet, somehow, you still feel completely broke at the end of the month. How does that happen?
Why do high-earning professionals stay broke? Seriously, it's a reality that creates massive financial anxiety for so many of us. You've got corporate earners pulling in thousands of dollars every single month, we're talking six-figure salaries here, yet they're trapped living paycheck to paycheck exactly like someone making a fraction of what they do. And hey, if you've ever felt this way, your anxiety is completely valid. It's a literal trap. And today, we're going to break down exactly why it happens. Section 1. The high-income illusion. Busting the myth that income equals wealth. There exists a prevalent cognitive failure where individuals equate higher gross income with increased wealth. To actually fix this, we have to completely dismantle that societal myth right out of the gate. So here is the core difference. On one side, we have earning money. This is active income. It's strictly capped by the 24 hours in a day, right? Because you're trading your finite time for cash. And no matter how hard you work, you just can't scale time. But on the other side, we have building wealth. This is passive income. This is all about owning scalable, productive assets that actually experience compounding growth. The wealthy, they play a completely different game. They focus entirely on that passive side of the equation because they want money that works while they sleep. And the crucial takeaway here is this. A high salary offers fake security if your expenses just match your earnings. In reality, without rigorous controls, that massive paycheck is literally just an illusion of wealth. Think about it. If your outgoing cash equals your incoming cash, you are mathematically stuck, no matter how prestigious your job title is.
Which brings us to Section 2, the lifestyle creep trap, and how expanding liabilities quietly consume your surplus. This is the whole psychology behind how increased earnings almost always trigger lifestyle inflation.
Let's walk through this chronological failure because, honestly, it happens to almost everyone. Okay, step 1, you get a 20% raise. You feel absolutely great. Step 2, you celebrate by, financing a luxury car. Step 3, maybe a year later, you decide to upgrade the house because, hey, you've got that new income, right? And finally, step 4, you arrive right back at zero. Without even realizing it, your expanding human desires just naturally inflated to match or even exceed your new gross income. You feel like you're getting ahead, but in reality, expanding liabilities quietly consume your surplus. And the harsh truth about these luxury upgrades is that they depreciate instantly. Luxury cars, for example, lose 20% of their value the absolute second you drive them off the lot. No joke. That is literally depreciating steel blocking your financial growth. The upfront cash loss is bad enough, but the opportunity cost, that is far worse. If that same money had been invested in assets instead, it could have compounded into millions over a few decades.
This perfectly contrasts two totally different mentalities, looking rich versus being wealthy. Looking rich means buying status early. It's spending money to impress other people while keeping your own bank accounts empty. It's just a highly expensive game of social validation. Being wealthy, on the other hand, is completely different. Real millionaires often practice what we call invisible wealth. They buy assets first. They delay gratification. They'll drive simple cars and live in totally average homes, all so their capital can just compound quietly in the background.
So how do we actually fix this? Section 3. Wealth is the delta. The mathematical reality of financial freedom. This is where we leave all those psychological traps behind and just look at the calm, undeniable math.
Let's define this really clearly. The delta is the mathematical gap between your incoming gross earnings and your outgoing lifestyle overhead. Remember this, wealth is not determined by what you earn, but by the delta between your income and your expenses. Wealth is actually highly predictable. If you want to be wealthy, you literally have to obsess over your delta. Let's break the numbers down a bit. You've got your gross income, and you've got your lifestyle overhead. But the gap between those two? That is the magic right there. That is the investable delta. By lowering your expenses, or honestly just keeping them completely flat when your income inevitably rises, you actively create the surplus needed to build real wealth. Every single dollar you save by keeping your overhead low makes that investable delta grow larger. And it's that delta that actually buys your freedom.
Because if you instantly spend your entire raise on a better lifestyle, you know exactly how much you add to your net worth? $0. Zero.
Waiting around for perfect market conditions or relying on your next big raise completely traps you if your spending habits don't change. If your delta is zero, your wealth creation is zero. It doesn't matter how hard you work.
So we clearly need a reliable system here. Section 4. The delayed upgrade strategy. The system to automate your ultimate freedom. This is the ultimate behavioral system the wealthy use to build wealth, so they don't have to rely on unreliable human willpower.
Because if you rely purely on discipline, you're eventually going to fail. We're all human. You need a system. To bypass this trap, the wealthy adopt a delayed upgrade strategy, investing 100% of every salary increase before allowing their standard of living to adjust. It's simple. Keep your overhead static and invest the growing difference. Maintain your current living costs after you get a raise, direct that entire salary difference into investments automatically, and just let compounding accelerate your freedom. By doing this, you completely bypass the trap of lifestyle inflation.
And this is exactly why you need to think in decades, not days. In year 1, you just maintain your baseline lifestyle. By year 5, you've been consistently investing the delta and you're building huge momentum. By year 10, that compound growth really starts to explode vertically. And by year 20, you've achieved ultimate freedom. Time is absolutely your biggest advantage here. This little delay trick allows your capital to snowball massively while your peers are probably still struggling to pay off those luxury cars. Executing this really requires a fundamental shift in your identity. You must think like an owner, not a consumer. You have to give every single dollar a job. A consumer looks at a raise and asks, what can I buy? An owner looks at that exact same raise and asks, what can I build? You want to direct your cash flow intentionally into productive assets. Give every dollar the specific job of buying back your future time. Because ultimately, wealth is what you keep. It's not the flashy car, it's not the massive salary, and it is certainly not the status symbols you see on social media. True financial success is about unspent cash and quiet, consistent asset accumulation. It really is the money that you do not spend that actually makes you wealthy.
So, I want to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up today's explainer. What is your next raise going to build? Is it going to fund a brand new liability that just depreciates and keeps you trapped in the cycle? Or is it going to fund your ultimate freedom? The choice and the math is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me today, and start building that delta.